Okay. So, did you try to refresh there?
Yeah, mine seems to be back on again. Yeah.
Back on again.
Seems to be.
Okay. I'll try again. That's what we teach our kids, isn't it? Don't give up. Keep
Yeah,
going.
that's right. Keep trying.
Keep trying.
Keep trying. It'll happen.
Okay. My wife's just desperate there. You've lost the connection again. Thank you, Gabby. Technology, you know, when I tell this, people laugh, but it's true. You know, technology is so great, but when it works.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly right.
Yeah. Okay. Hopefully, this should keep us on. Let's see. Okay, everyone. We are back again. So I'm really, really sorry. I'm doing my best here to make this work, and my sincere apologies for losing the connection. So we're going to try again. So most of you are coming back again now, and so we're here tonight with Glynn, and he is the head coach of Crusaders FC on the Gold Coast, and he kindly accepted the invitation to be having a conversation about futsal and all things related here with us, and how we can continue to build bridges within the futsal community in Australia. So Glynn, let's go back to let's pick up where we left from, and you were talking about a little bit about yourself and how things started, and just giving us a little introduction, please.
Yeah, so I'm from Northern Ireland originally, from a town called Belfast. Some people might know that. 40 years of age, came to Australia about 10 years ago now, and started Crusaders about 5 years ago now. So yeah, things started off, you know, small and slow, but you know, always believed in what we were doing and why we were doing it. So that's why we've got to, I think, you know, we've got to this stage where we're at today, where we're probably one of the biggest clubs in the Gold Coast, one of the most successful. I use that in the loosest terms. That's, you know, I'm not talking about trophies. I'm talking about, you know, where our players have got to. And I don't mean just like going overseas or signing for SAP clubs or whatever. It's just based on our players' belief in themselves, where they've got to today. So that's where I gauge but Crusaders' success off, where our players individually are at this stage after 5 years, you know. So yeah.
Excellent. And did you say you're from Northern Ireland?
Yeah, Northern Ireland. Yeah, so just a little town just outside Belfast, but most of my time was spent in Belfast. So yeah.
And how is futsal there, Glynn?
It's actually it's just started pretty recent. You know, as in the FA, Northern Irish FA, they've really taken it on board. They've got, you know, their own team now. There's a home nations competition with England, Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland. Mm-hmm. They're starting to compete in UEFA competitions, FIFA competitions as well. So it's starting to really take off. I think the difference with Northern Ireland and probably Brazil, you know, it's a big thing in Brazil. Whereas back sort of in my day, we played more street football. Mm. So the same idea. Yeah. But yeah, now now there's no kids on the street, you know.
Yeah. That's what we talk these days about non-structured football and futsal, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So so that's my idea of futsal. Pretty much, it's mimicking the street, and bringing that street back to the kids in Australia. You know, as I say, the kids, I never see kids on the street anymore. Like back when I was a boy, you know, you just have to bounce the ball a couple of times out in the street, and the next minute there'd be 30 kids around you, you know. So and we would just be playing street football all night until mum or dad shouted you in, you know.
So the only time you would stop is when the car was coming.
Pretty much, and even then we would try to play around it, you know.
Play around it, yeah, that's right. That's nice. And did you say 10 years, Glynn, that you've moved to Australia?
Yeah, 10 years now. We've been close to 10 years, coming up 10 years now. We've been in Australia. So myself, my wife, 2 kids came. So I had a 3-year-old and an 18-month-year-old that we came to Australia with pretty much nothing.
So what made you, if you don't mind me asking, what made you go for the big move, you know?
Pretty much the weather was a big element of it. You know, in the UK, it rains constant. It's cold constantly. So that was a big reason for moving. And also the environment. I suppose anyone that knows Northern Ireland knows Belfast. It's a tough environment. You know, there's we came through many years of terrorism and you know, fighting between 2 religions. Just a religious battle, I suppose, religious war forever. So right through my childhood. So it was to try and take away those pressures from my kids, and you know, in a way, give them a better life. That way, you know, I'm a Northern Ireland man at heart. I'm a Belfast man at heart. I love the country. I would never speak badly about it. It taught me a lot. But you know, that was the reason, you know. So
yeah, that's a very fair reason.
Yeah,
it happens to me sometimes. People I hear people, you know, coming from Brazil and then speaking badly about it. Just, you know, I just don't understand. You know, if you've lived more than half of your life there, you know, you've got your parents, your relatives, or, you know, everyone's there, and you just so I'm very grateful for what, you know, what I achieved in Brazil and what prepared me to be living in Australia now. And I think we both pretty similar in sort of timing, because we've also been here about 10 years, about 10 years. So it's a significant amount of time, and it gives us a very reasonable idea of, you know, what we want for our lives in the future.
No, definitely. It's a nice place to live here in Australia. I'm on the Gold Coast, as you know. So, you know, the beaches and things like that. Like, you know, Brazil's got lovely beaches too, and, you know, but it's a tough place to live. Brazil grew up in, you know, it's a harsh environment to grow up in. You know, everyone, you're trying to climb over everyone, you know. So it's the same sort of deal. Belfast is pretty similar. You know, you're trying to get ahead, but, you know, it's a harsh environment, hard environment. But same, like, I'm a Northern Ireland fan through and through. I still follow them, still watch every game that comes on the TV, Northern Ireland. I've still got my season ticket for the stadium. I'll never give that up. You know, so I'm an Ulster man, Northern Ireland man through and through. That'll never change, and I'll never, ever bag the country. And I'll always, you know, that's my home. You know, this is just a second.
That's nice. And Glynn, when you came, did you have any plans in terms of work or have a job lined up? Did you have any idea that you were going to get involved with futsal?
No, not really. As I said, I had a 3-year-old girl, 18-month-year-old boy. I'm football crazy. Coming from Europe, it's just you know, that apart from religion, that is our religion. You know, in Europe, it's football. So football crazy all my life. But I'm actually a joiner carpenter by trade. So I came here and done shop fitting for 5 years. Just when you make that big move, it's financially, it's not a financially it's a struggle to get set up again in a new country and stuff. But as my kids sort of got older and I've seen an interest, from both of them, I don't think they both had any chance because of me. They both are going to play football or futsal, So, but no, they could play with anything they wanted. But just because I still practice and I'm 40 years of age and I still practice, so they seen me doing it, they started doing it. And as they got older, then it was just it was an easy thing for a dad to do, take his son and daughter to the park and have a kick, so.
Yeah. Well, 40 years old and you're still doing a few tricks there that I've been watching on the Crusaders page.
Yeah.
Some top corners and all that.
Absolutely. I always try, always try. You can be better. You can be better every day, even at 40.
You're very good. And so Glynn, how did you come in contact with futsal and when and why? And can you give us a little bit of a...
I suppose over the 5 years that I was here, I was looking around and without getting into politics or bad mouthing any clubs or parents or anything like that, I went and watched a game, an under 6 game, actually down at the local football club, local soccer club for Australians. And all I heard from the sideline was just craziness, it was just kick it as hard as you can and get it up top to the speedy guy and he'd go and score goals, and I thought to myself, no, this is not the way. This is not the way.
Definitely.
We need what about the middle bit, So,
yeah.
So from that, I thought to myself, I think, in my own opinion, and the game's about opinions, and everyone has a different opinion, some the same as me, some different. I think the biggest thing for me was the street. I'd never seen any kids playing on the street, and I thought that was a big thing. So I started to look into it a bit more, and I was looking at Pana and things like that, and futsal. But I think futsal was the biggest mimic of the street for me. So that's the way I decided to go with the futsal. And for me, it's modern day street. That's
modern
what it
day
is.
Street. Yeah.
Yeah. Modern day. I know futsal's been around for forever. In Uruguay and Brazil and Spain and things like that. But for me, it was just, how do I mimic the street? How do I give these kids a rawness to, keep the sidelines quiet to a point, of course, and let these kids flow and let these kids embrace themselves and try things and be themselves, be the best. So that was it. That was pretty much it. Yeah, that's why futsal I thought was the best option.
So that was probably what, 2014, roughly?
Yeah, roughly. Yeah.
Yeah. So so you decided so I'm going to create a futsal club.
Yeah. I started out by just training the kids. But I wanted to give them confidence more than anything. And the more that they done it, the more kids started coming in through the door, and then the more the parents were like, we should make a team. And I was like, hey, we actually should, and I wasn't interested in saying, like, I never went and played outdoor football in Northern Ireland until I was 11 years of age. So and I know that Brazil's a lot similar, where 12 years, and they're even talking about 14 years now that they don't want them to go and play outdoor. So, and it was a natural thing for me just to keep my kids just playing straight and letting them flow and make up their own minds and how they should play the game, rather than that structure. So, but the more I've seen the game of futsal, the more I really like the excitement and the, how it really developed the kids. With their touch and awareness and speed, agility even. So yeah, we decided to make our first. We actually started with 2 teams. and we played in our own little in-house thing. And a couple of other teams joined in. One of our coaches now, actually Mitch Ellams, he brought his boy with the team, and we had another team. So we played a league of four, bit of a round robin type sort of scenario. And then the next year, it just went crazy, and I just had people knocking on the door wanting to come in and be a part of it. So yeah, that's why we went into the teams.
Yeah, nice. So things were going well, and then you just had people knocking on the door. How can we be part of it? And then there you go. You have Crusaders FC.
Huh?
You have Crusaders FC.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So that's how it all that's how it panned out.
So it started with, as you said, like a little round robin thing, and now you have other programs. Like, what types of programs do you have? Academies? Do you participate in competitions? What sort of programs do you develop at Crusaders?
So we start off at 3 years of age. So basically, all our programs, all our training sessions and everything just starts off with fun. That's the main thing. If you see a smile on a child's face, then that's by a
pretty
million
good reward,
miles,
isn't it?
by a million miles, that's the best thing that you can do, or you can see. So then we develop that, from fun into them feeling like they're in a family, So I know every kid's name in our club, every single kid's name. I know every school that they go to, So I want them to feel that real family feel, And then from that, I believe that the sense of belonging becomes, where they really believe they belong there. So that's where we start off with, with that mindset. And then we start off with that younger group, and then we have our own mini leagues, which goes sort of from, fives, 6s, and 7s, where they all play in-house against each other. Same idea. We have the fun, the family feel. Everyone claps each other on. Everyone claps each other off. Shaking hands. Well, maybe not now with COVID, but that's the mini league. And then obviously involved with Andrew Parks with his Gold Coast Futsal Association, those leagues. We go all year round. So obviously the off season we still train and coach. And we try to get involved with the outdoor clubs, as in enter their carnivals. So I sort of believe that we can. Well, I know for a fact that last year some of our teams actually played more games than the outdoor clubs because we were involved in so many carnivals. So, they didn't have to go every Saturday to Tweed Heads or, wherever. We got sort of bang for your buck, I suppose, for want of a better word, in one day, as those outdoor clubs were getting in, 6 weeks, 7 weeks.
Yeah.
So that we're involved in the outdoor carnivals. We do quite well at those. We won a couple of carnivals against SAP clubs and stuff like that, So not to say that that's the be all and end all, but it just shows the level that we can play at, and the kids that want to be involved in our club. And then after that, we obviously get involved in Johnny Warren. We go down and see Vinny. Vinny, from our first competition with Vinny, I think we had one team down there, and now he wants all our teams to come down and compete. I think he respects the club, and he's obviously got a lot to see there as well. And then offers are coming in from interstate and, internationally. We've been an international tour. So, lots going on.
Very good. Very good. Okay, I just wanted to take a moment to say hi to those joining us now. So my name is Renan Fenerich, and I'm here tonight with Glynn. Is it Boyd?
Yeah, Boyd.
Glynn Boyd from Crusaders FC from the Gold Coast. We're just talking about everything futsal related here. Just gave us a little bit of his story there, when it started and etc. So welcome for those joining now. So if you have questions about the things that we're talking about here or futsal related stuff, just please just send in a comment. For now, if I can just ask you to please click on the heart button there and then share this. Is Janice your wife, is it?
Yeah, yeah.
So if Janice could please share this with the Crusaders if she hasn't done it yet in the Facebook page, so we get more people joining in as we go. And this is also going to be saved to be watched later on. Yeah.
Cool.
All right, so let's continue on. So we just talked about the programs that you do with the Crusaders, Glynn, and obviously, you know, all the futsal competitions, everything, all the international tour that you mentioned, everything was futsal, right? Now, my question is,
yeah.
Sorry.
Apart from the carnival, some of the carnivals that we get involved with is outdoor.
Oh, okay. So would you say majority is futsal?
Yeah. So like yeah, majority is futsal. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Good. So I just wanted to get a bit of an idea of, and obviously you've been here same time as me, about a decade in Australia, and we've been to tournaments together. I know a little bit about your work. I'm probably getting to know you a bit better today. We never had the chance because we're always busy with the kids, running around and in competition days. So I just wanted to see if you could share with us your view of how you see futsal going in Australia, and if it's going the right direction, if you're happy with what you see, things that you think could improve at the moment, and ideas and all that.
Yeah, I think when you're involved with certain competitions, they're excellent. You know, I think I have a lot of fun personally. I know my players have a lot of fun as well with certain competitions. There is some competitions we go to and we're like, well, could have been better organized, whatever. But at the same time, we do have a lot of people around who have maybe not the same vision for themselves, but the same vision for the sport, you know? So I think if we could get everyone together around the table, and, you know, everyone doesn't have to agree completely,
yeah.
But I think for the you know, if someone puts in an idea and other people think it's a great idea, then we go with that. And another person puts in an idea, then we go with that. But if it's got, you know, so debate. Like I don't think there's enough debate. I think it's a lot of people just on themselves. I think this will work. Let's run with it and see who we can get in. See who we can get playing. See, you know, what referees we can get, and so on and so on. Whereas if we actually stop for a moment and think what the whole thing's about, which is the players, you know, it really is, and not only that, the development of, you know, futsal players into football players, or futsal players continuing on in the sport of futsal, and trying to be the best they can be, or even more so than that, just enjoying the sport forever, you know, and playing it right into, you know, our ages, you know. So I think the people that really have the say so now, the people that have the ideas, the people that have structure, I think they really need to get together.
Yeah.
And make something fantastic in this country.
Yeah.
To be honest, I'm always scouting around politics, you know. I'm going, can we enter that competition? Oh yeah, but you're entered in with those guys. I'm like, well, I don't care. I'm not just because I entered their competition doesn't mean that I'm fully, I'll just do their competitions. Just because I entered Vinny's competitions doesn't mean I would never enter your competition, or or Andrew Parks or Felipe, or whatever. It doesn't matter to me. Like, I just want to give any kid that's part of Crusaders, I want to give them a wide variety of competitions to play in. I know I mentioned names there, but I'm only mentioning their names because they're running competitions, So,
yeah.
But if the AFA. In Australia, nationwide.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, I agree with you. I think the only way to move forward would be to get together. We were talking about this with Vinny the other day, and discuss the ideas and present the ideas and make decisions for the benefit of the players. Which are just kids, and all they want to do, and all the parents want to do, is for them to be able to play. So this would be beneficial in every aspect, if that could happen. And we go again on to the same thing about, let's continue to build bridges rather than walls. And so if you want to play a competition in Brisbane and then Gold Coast, and you come to Lismore, and then you come to Grafton, Coffs Harbour here where we are, and it's just more opportunities for your kids to continue to develop, through simply playing the game, playing competitions, and being happy, being kids. So
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Absolutely, and even more so, I commend yourself and Vinny, for the last competition you sent me details to, which was a development league. You encouraged me, don't bring your elite teams, you bring your development teams. So I think that was really nice, and something that I was really trying to do. Obviously before the COVID thing happened, it was something I was really trying to push. With tournaments or competition.
Yeah, that competition that you refer to,
I love the opportunity to play.
Yeah, sorry. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so that competition I think you're talking about would be the Northern State League, the NSL that we run here, that we mentioned about the development players and all that. And that's the whole idea, the whole point, like to when we organized the competition, Vinny and I, Just Futsal and NC Futsal, we wanted to obviously to give our academy kids something to do, to play during winter, and that's when football was on. And when we started, you heard us saying that the other day, we only had 2 teams, 3 teams, and then we're growing each year. And if it wasn't for the COVID situation, we would be up and running, going towards the first round of the league already. We still have hopes though, and the idea of joining in southeast Queensland and then northern New South Wales area, and it's slowly becoming an interstate competition there, and for juniors, one of the biggest futsal competitions during winter. Obviously there'll be a time that you can't say, oh, this kid's too good, don't bring him. But I think at the same time that you have a kid that is going to be really upset losing by 20 goals, I'm sure there'll be a kid that's not going to be any happier by winning by 20 goals. So the idea of developing and development, it was just simply for us to somehow try and get kids of similar level, so the game would become more enjoyable. Because as you know, Glenn, we are in the regional area, countryside, and it's very difficult for us to to find and do the work here. We do everything we can, but sometimes it's just you get 5 kids that are absolutely super talented, have great coaches like yourself, and yeah, it's just not going to work. If you know what I mean.
Yeah, not totally. And that's what I was quite excited. We do have a lot of development kids, that are only in the sport maybe a year, 2 years, and the thought of those guys getting a tournament style 1-day event, across a few months or whatever was very exciting for me, just to give them that opportunity, so it was good. So yeah, good on you.
Yeah. Glenn, we have a question here from Vinny. What advice would you give to the football coaches in Australia that don't like futsal? Let's start with that.
He loves the tough question.
Loves it.
Vinny, doesn't he?
Good one, Vinny.
Look, it's for me, it's a tough one because it's an opinion, and that's why it's such a fantastic sport. Both futsal and football are such fantastic sports because everyone's got different opinions. I listened to Sean Deitch on Keys and Gray the other night, and he was telling me why would my team, or he was telling the viewers, why would my team play like Guardiola's team? When we don't have Guardiola's players. So it's definitely an opinion. I don't know. Maybe the football coaches don't think they have technically good players to be able to play the sport. I don't know. Maybe they just come from where futsal's not a big thing. I don't know. I'm not sure. Australia's got a lot of sport to for the kids to play and do and change. If they're not at AFL or NRL or foot or whatever, so it's a lot different from South America, Europe, where futsal is just that religion, so it's a hard mindset, I suppose, to change.
Yeah. So do you think, Glenn,
if it's an Australian coach or whatever,
Yeah. Do you think there would be, at the moment, there would be any room for fitting in with the current, training curriculum for, all football clubs at the moment in the junior sort of level, not only in NPL level, but, in lower levels, say, let's say on the Gold Coast? Do you think there would be a way that we could introduce and could include futsal as, for example, 1 night a week to be part of the training curriculum?
Yeah, absolutely. And to be fair to the coaches on the Gold Coast that I have a relationship with, as in, I know them and I talk to them. They all do believe in futsal. They do believe for an event that it'll get you sort of hooked on it and it'll get you sucked into it because it is so exciting. Like if you come to the, yourself and Vinny, on that, one of them events, and as a coach, as I come to one of them events, and you'll see the quality that's there. You'll see how it does develop the kids. You'll see the excitement that the parents just love it, because there's happening. But to be fair to the coaches that I have a relationship with, they all are big supporters of futsal. I think the problem is because the clubs try to justify the fee that is charged, so then that becomes a a 3-night week, or 3 nights a week training program, plus a game on a Saturday or Sunday, and whatever it may be. So trying to justify that fee might be one of the problems that we do have with futsal night into the outdoor.
Yeah, I see. Well, it's a very interesting topic. We could probably talk about that for quite some time if we wanted to. On Saturday morning, I'm going to be having a chat here live too with a guy from the United States. He's Brazilian, and then he played futsal professionally in Italy. And then now he lives in the US, and he's a coach there, and he's just written a book called Soccer Powered by Futsal. So, and it's really, really interesting, and the approach that he takes. His name is Marcelo Antonelli, and he talks about, he goes like in depth and talks about not just the individual technical side of things, but even rotational patterns in the midfield, and using diagonal balls and parallel balls and all that. It's really interesting. So we managed to organize that for Saturday morning our time. It'll be around 10 o'clock. You see the post tomorrow. So it should be a very interesting conversation too. So we will have an idea what's happening in the US too compared to Australia. And as we believe, there's definitely room for futsal not only to be included in the football curriculum, but obviously as we know, futsal has its own pathways, and it's a sport on its own, and it should be respected as such.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Totally.
So do you think the idea of so let's move a little bit towards the pandemic situation, the coronavirus and all that, and how that is affecting everybody. I know they're talking about getting back into it in the near future, but how did it affect your plans there, Glynn? We obviously had to stop everything we're doing here, and so we shut the doors. There's no academies, there's no competitions, there's nothing, and the only way we found was to develop a one-on-one coaching program. So it's a private session program that we do, and it's proven to be quite successful here in this period. And I know you're doing it there too, on the Gold Coast, and you're probably booked out by now. So how did COVID situation affect your plans there with Crusaders? Did you take the time to plan more into the future, and what sort of programs did you develop? I know you have the one-on-one and etc. How was it for you?
Yeah, tough. As you know, when you start something and you work so hard on something, you have to close the doors. It's a big pill to swallow. So that was tough. So I think for me, getting my head around the fact that I was closed, probably took me a week or two to get my head around. A video that was sent to us from our club captain.
Mm-hmm.
She got lots of our players together, to send us a message, and from that moment sort of spurred me on again to to think a bit more clear, work on session plans, work on what worked in the past, what didn't work in the past, and how we can kick on from here, so what we could do better. So that's a massive thing for me with my planning phase, just sort of That's really helped me sort of stay a bit focused with that. A few ideas with just getting kids together, and seeing each other. I think that's a massive part. I really have a big worry about mental health issues for our kids who are social distancing to the point where they're only seeing each other on video screens, and not, because it's a big part of his kid's life, isn't it? Whenever going to school, they're going to the football clubs, they're going to the futsal clubs. This social aspect of their lives is huge. So I tried to do that as much as I could, and obviously staying within the rules and the government laws. So that was a big thing. My focus was on trying to get those kids to see each other, even if it was just two kids at a distance. And then the one-on-ones was massive, I think, for me as well, just to see our players, and like properly see them, and physically see them. So that was huge for me. But even more so, getting to know them a bit better, and really focusing on, again, what they do well, what they struggle with a bit, and what they can do better, and fix whatever they want to do themselves. Because every child's different. Every child's got their own. And kids may suffer with confidence. So that was really good, just to have my attention 1 hour as well. So I think it's been a hard time to shut the door and for Crusaders, but at the same time it's been a positive one for us as a club to plan better, and also for the kids, I suppose, the one-on-one kids to get a bit more attention and work on mental health as well as their skills.
Yeah, and you touched on a very important aspect that usually we sort of tend not to worry about so much when things are happening as normal, which is mental health. And you would probably be the same there, and you would in here at times I get myself being the counselor, the psychologist of the child, a little bit of a parenting moment there. So just to because obviously your family and my family, we know what we're doing here. We're doing the best we can for them, to make sure their mental health is good and they can get through this stronger at the end when things go back. But unfortunately, it's not the same scenario for some families, isn't it? They inside their houses it could be a struggle, and that futsal moment, those couple hours that they had with you, with Coach Glynn, Coach Hennon, that was their moment of mental clarity and their moment to be healthy mentally.
Absolutely. It's a big thing that I work on sort of subconsciously with the kids. Try to work on their belief in themselves, and it doesn't matter whether they're what level, or it's their elite or development, or just beginners, whatever. Doesn't matter, the belief. That's a huge part of my coaching style, that I try to get them to believe in themselves, that they are the best that they can be, and try to push themselves a bit more if they want more, but only if they want more, so be confident in themselves. So that's a huge part of my coaching style, so that's where my worry comes from, that these kids aren't getting that. Well, not that they aren't, because they will be at home, but sometimes it's the coach's words that matter. They can hear that. They hear that constantly from their mum and dads or their grown-ups, whatever situation they're in. You are great. Yes, you are doing well. You are fantastic. You are this, you are that. But sometimes when it's said too much, they tend not to believe it. And then when the coach says it, it's the best thing that can ever happen to them. So so that's a big part of us as Crusaders, as a team. I try to get all our coaches to be, encouraging that way. So yeah, that's a huge part of this situation. And I hope that everyone kind of understands it and focuses on that a little bit more.
Very good. And it looks like you've been doing a great job, Glynn.
Thanks.
I just wanted to obviously take the opportunity to say thanks to those who are watching or have been watching us. And a quick hi to those just joining. We are heading towards the last part of our conversation here. My name is Renan Fenerich and I'm with Glynn Boyd, Crusaders head coach from Gold Coast. Glynn, we have another question here from Vinny. Now, anyone can ask questions, guys, so not just Vinny. Okay, so it's open to everyone. Don't be shy. So there's a little space there on your phone or wherever you're watching that says write a comment. Just go there and ask away. Okay, so we're here for you and with you. Vinny's asking if futsal is your main source of income, Glynn.
No. I'm full-time at a place called Kids Academy on the Gold Coast, which is a childcare centre.
Okay.
So I'm a sports coordinator in a childcare centre. So we have long daycare, so from babies right up to 5 years of age. And then we have before school, and then we have after school as well. So ages from babies right up to 12 years of age. So I take the sports program there, work with the kids, work on gross motor skills, fine motor skills, open, close, motor skills, all that type of stuff. So yeah, that's my everyday job, which I love because the kids give you so much back, so
yeah.
It's I'm enthusiastic about that every day that I go in, so it's good.
That's nice. I didn't know that. See, childcare.
Yeah, that's right. So moves from shop fitter, joiner, carpenter, and it's basically where I'm a personal trainer. I'm a personal training tickets. Obviously I'm coaching license and things like that. So this place was getting built, and I noticed it had a court, and I said I went in and I proposed that we bring our club into their facility on the weekends, and the guy that owns the place, he said to me, well, actually, if you want to do that, I'm happy for you to do that, but sports coordinator job here as well if you're interested. So took the plunge from off the tools, joiner, carpenter, and childcare. So I'm studying my childcare diploma at the moment. So yeah,
very good.
Children's warm up is and progress and develop, seeing them enjoy themselves, making sure they're confident, be confident, I suppose. So it was an easy transition, really.
Very good. Yeah, working with children, some will say it's one of the most rewarding experiences in life, because a lot of the times you go there and then if things may be going slightly the wrong way at home or somewhere else, and then you just see like a random smile, it changes your day, doesn't it?
Yeah, no, absolutely. and the comments they have are priceless. So they are priceless.
yeah, very nice. So Glynn, I guess we pretty much coming to the end of our broadcast here, and I just wanted to hear from you if you could give a piece of advice to everyone watching, any kids or any parents or any other coaches, anyone that's tuned in now. What would be your greatest advice?
Oof. You didn't tell me about this question.
It was there.
just to, number one, make sure your kids, if you've got children that you want involved in sport, number one, find a sport that they smile after every time, or well, most times. Make sure you support them. Find a coach if you want them involved in a club. Find a coach that they have a good rapport with. You know, there's some people that have, most people that have came to Crusaders have stayed. Some have left. They, you know, the kids just didn't have that rapport with me or some of my other coaches, which is completely fine. I think that's a massive piece of advice. You know, if your kid's happy with a growing up, then stick with that. You know, that's a good thing. If you want them to be, you know, a good football player, you know, and have a nice career in football or futsal as they're older, get them involved in futsal first. It's for me, that's what I said. It mimics the street, and the kids don't play on the street anymore. So it's the best. It's the closest thing you're going to get to your kids playing on the street. So get them involved in futsal. Not only will your kids love it, but you'll love it. Even though I've got AFL parents, I've got cricket parents, I've got netball parents, and when the leagues start and the competitions start, you know, I look up and they've got the biggest smiles on their faces. You know, because not just because their children are playing on the court, but what the sport brings. You know, it brings everything you say that a kid gets from the sport. You know, the speed, awareness, shot. The parents get it as well. They're absolutely enthused by it. You know, so get them involved in futsal. If it's not futsal, get them involved in something that they want to be involved in, and a coach that they have a real good rapport with, and they respect, and they'll remember forever. So, yeah.
Very good piece of advice. And Glenn, if people wanted to find out more about you and connect with you through social media, what would be the best way?
Social media on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Crusaders Futsal Club. You know, put in the full title and we'll come up. Instagram, we're very active on both Facebook and Instagram. Twitter, not so much, but a little bit on there. If you want to email us, it's admin@crusadersfc.com.au. So I'll say that again, admin@crusadersfc.com.au. We're happy to you know, give any advice that you might require. You don't have to be part of Crusaders to ask for advice. If you're a parent in, you know, North Queensland that you want advice from us, no problem. We're happy to reach out to anyone, even clubs that we come up against on a weekly basis. I'm happy to talk to anyone, you know. So
very good. And it looks like people can find you too doing the hashtag up the cruise.
Yeah, hashtag up the cruise. that was the thing that my dad used to say, you know, so he used to say up the cruise. So that's a little thing for him. So.
That's nice. Now, Glenn, thank you so much, mate, for accepting the invitation, for having this chat with us, this conversation. I have come to really admire your work there on the Gold Coast. Before we moved to the region here, we lived in Brisbane, my wife and I, for about 5 years. So we sort of had, you know, a lot of contact with futsal and football in Brisbane, Gold Coast areas. Then we moved to northern New South Wales. So I don't see a lot of people that are really, really engaged with the game and give so much for the kids and for the game like yourself. On the Gold Coast there. Obviously, there's some big names there on the Gold Coast and Brisbane that do an awesome job too. But, you know, since I've come to know you and admire your work, I'm just grateful that we've had this conversation tonight, and I just wanted to thank you once again.
Thank you very much, Renan. I really appreciate the invite. As I say, it was it's something out of my comfort zone, but when you get to chat with someone like yourself, you know, it's always a good thing. Happy days.
That's great. And for everyone watching, thank you so much. And we will have another live coming up on Saturday morning. And if you haven't yet liked Renan Fenerich on Facebook and at Renan Fenerich on Instagram, please go there and you'll continue to find this nice content that's being produced for you, including live interviews with legends like Glynn Boyd. Thank you, Glynn. Thanks,
No worries,
everyone.
mate.
We'll see you next time.
Take care, buddy.
Cheers.
Stay safe.
Have a good night.